losing weight may be one of your New Year's resolutions. If you struggle with your weight, this is for you. I'm Dr. Yvonne Carney, and one of the big regrets that I have from my traditional medicine years, the number of women who would come to me and I would look them straight in the eyes and say, weight loss is a math equation. Calories in minus calories out equals net weight gain or net weight loss. All you need to do is eat less and exercise more. And so many women would get teary-eyed at that point and say, but I don't eat much and I do exercise. You know, maybe you're eating more than you think, or maybe you're not as active as you think. Well, over time, I learned how important thyroid was, and I started trying to optimize their thyroid hormone because that's your energy hormone. And if you can't make energy, you can't lose weight. And I learned the difference between normal range and optimum. And so many people are walking around hypothyroid and don't even realize it because their TSH is normal. But their free hormones, their hormones that activate the energy cycle, are off. For the majority of women, weight gain is a symptom. It's a symptom of a broken metabolism. So what messes up that math equation? Stress. Stress breaks your metabolism by high cortisol, leading to high blood sugar, leading to insulin elevated, and insulin is a fat storage hormone. If you have high insulin from either diabetes or pre-diabetes or insulin resistance, which is highly underdiagnosed, your body is being told 24/7, store fat, store fat, store fat. So check your fasting insulin level. Have someone check it for you. The optimal fasting insulin level is 4 to 7. Normal range goes up to like 20. If you have a high insulin without eating, that's with no calories intake for 6 to 12 hours, then your body's in fat storage mode. If you're in fat storage mode all the time, you can't lose weight. I don't care how much you exercise. If you have high insulin, it's a struggle. Now, exercise does increase your insulin tolerance. It increases your insulin sensitivities. It is one of the prescriptions when people have insulin resistance is to make sure you're active, because moving your muscles and being active triggers your muscles to be able to uptake glucose and increases insulin sensitivity. You can't just out exercise insulin resistance. You have to figure out why that is. And if you have high stress with high cortisol leading to the insulin resistance, you got to figure that out. Live in a society where we wear stress like a badge of honor. Oh, how are you? Oh, crazy, busy. You don't even know how to relax. Multitasking, 10 windows open on your computer, a social calendar with fun events that's overbooked. Every time someone asks you if you want to get together, you're like, oh, I got to go home and check my calendar because I don't have any idea. I have a lot of things going on. Even though those are good things, that's stress too. And then there's the chemical stresses of all the toxins that we're in. Toxins is a huge cause of the broken metabolism. Well, why is that? Because your mitochondria are your intracellular batteries that make energy. And if you have broken mitochondria, then you cannot burn fat for fuel. They take fat, burn it for fuel. And if you have broken mitochondria, you can't burn fat for fuel, which means you can't lose weight. How do toxins break your mitochondria? The area of the mitochondria in which fat is burned is actually a layer of phospholipids, which is made out of fatty acids. And these fatty acids get oxidized by inflammation from toxins. Why does that matter? Well, because it changes their structure. And if their structure is changed, the function is different. Think of saran wrap or plastic. That's what these fatty acids are like. They're stable, but they're flexible and they're moving and waving. When they get oxidized, they get melted by the inflammation, the heat of inflammation. It's like a flamethrower on plastic. What happens to saran wrap if you hold it over an open flame? It melts. That's what happens to the fatty acids in your mitochondria when you're exposed to the inflammation from toxins. If you've ever had a flashlight that you're trying to turn on, you open it up and you see that the batteries are all crusty and leaky, that's what happens to your mitochondria when you have oxidation of the fatty acids. If that happens, you can't burn fat for fuel and you're going to gain weight. Not only that, but a lot of the toxins that we're exposed to are fat soluble. The pesticides, the herbicides, the phthalates, the solvents, the industrial chemicals, they are fat soluble. So your body wants to get them out of circulation because they're so damaging. So guess what it does? It's very wise. It stores them in the fat. You come along and say, oh, I want to lose 10 pounds. But in that 10 pounds is a lot of toxins that have been stuffed in there to get them out of circulation. Body's like, heck no, I'm not letting this fat go. Because if I let the fat go, then that means all the toxins come out with it. So that's where we look at detox. In my next video, I'm going to talk about detox, how to do it and how not to do it, because a lot of people this time of year are like, oh, I'm going to do a January detox and everything's going to be better in my life. So we'll talk about that next time. Today, we're talking about the weight. Well, why is it that around menopause it gets so much harder? Well, there's a couple reasons for that. One is low estrogen leads to a decrease in your metabolism just by definition. You lose about 50 to 70 kilocalories a day of metabolic rate. That means every year you're looking at 5 to 7 pounds of weight gain. Yikes. Multiply that by 5 to 10 years and you're 35 pounds to 70 pounds heavier by doing nothing different. Does that mean that hormone replacement therapy will fix it? It might help for sure, because now you don't have the low estrogen. It's worth a consideration because of all the other benefits of estrogen replacement therapy. In menopause, we have high stress because, we have aging parents or death of parents. Our kids have left the home and we're worried about them. Maybe we're empty nesters and we're trying to figure out if we still like our husband. So many factors that increase stress at menopause. And then we don't sleep well because of the flippin' hot flashes. So that causes stress. We've already talked about how stress leads to high cortisol, which leads to weight gain. Also in menopause, we have years of total toxic load. We've ignored ourselves for years. We don't know how to detox. We believe the government and all the things that they say, oh, if it were bad for you, it wouldn't be allowed, so it must be okay. And so many of the products that we use, even in medications, have toxins in them. That's accumulated over time. And so we have this high total toxic load. Your body is like, help, help, help. I'm not going to get rid of fat because the toxins are there. The good news is there's hope. You need to talk to a doctor that believes that it's not just a math equation. It's not just calories in, calories out. And to all the women that I said that to, please accept my deepest apology. I'm sorry. I was wrong. It's not a math equation. And if you have a doctor that looks you in the eye and tells you that, you need more than that. Get a different doctor. If you know someone that needs to hear this, please pass it on. I'm Dr. Yvonne Carney. I'm the hormone locksmith, and I'm on your side.